Seeking perfection is really seeking yourself. And yourself is here now. And this moment is perfect. Life is perfection. So why don't we realize this perfection of life? Why can't we realize that life is perfect? Why can't we realize that perfection is this very moment? One of the reasons is that we have an idea of what perfection is. We have a mental projection of perfection. And as long as you have that projection of perfection, you miss this perfect moment. It blinds you to this perfection that already is. There's a valuing of your projection more than this moment. It's as if this moment is on one hand and your projection of perfection is on the other hand. But there is a valuing of this projection more than the moment. So this moment is dismissed. It's devalued. It's as if you dismiss it, reject it, deny it, that we're actually denying the perfection of this moment. We are rejecting the perfection of this moment. And we continue seeking our own projection of perfection. Now, people actually identify as being a perfectionist, and that's one who's seeking perfection. And it's very frustrating. It's a lot like dangling a carrot in front of your face. You just never get it. Your projection is always going to be changing. And that's why it always seems like it's just out of reach. But there's this belief that it's just the next thing, just a little bit more. It's just ahead. It's just in the next moment. I'm not quite there yet. It's not quite perfect. Just a little bit more. Constantly seeking this perfection. Seeking that projection of perfection distracts us from the perfection of this moment. This moment is life. It's perfect as it is. You don't need to add anything to it, and you don't need to remove anything from it. So the perfection that you're seeking is really the perfection that is here now. The perfection that you're seeking is really the perfection that you are here now. Your true self is the perfection that you are seeking. But again, just like the projection of perfection, we have a projection of ourself. We have a who we think we are. We have a mental image of ourself. And isn't it ironic that this idea of myself, this image of myself, is never perfect? That I'm always shaping, adding, removing, working on myself. Just trying to get myself perfect. One day I'll be perfect. Right now, I'm a work in progress. So this projection of perfection and the projection of myself is actually one and the same. It's the same seeking. It's the same activity that distracts us from the truth of what we are. That you are this moment. That you are the perfection of life. You are life itself. That there's actually only perfection. There's only thoughts of imperfection. And even those thoughts of imperfection, even that is perfection appearing as those thoughts of imperfection. You look at a tree, that's an imperfect tree. That's an imperfect fence. That's an imperfect home. That's an imperfect car. That's an imperfect garbage can. That's an imperfect walkway. Imperfection doesn't exist. Everything is unique. There's no duplicates in life. Life never manifests as a duplicate. Everything, every form is unique. It's an expression of the one. There is only one, and that one is perfection. So what you see as imperfections is actually a unique expression of perfection. This moment is perfection unfolding as this moment. Life is not moving from imperfection to some day arrive at perfection. Life is only unfolding as perfection to perfection to perfection. There is only perfection. What you consider an imperfect body is actually a perfect body. This body is unique. That body is unique. That tree is unique. That flower is unique. That walkway is unique. This uniqueness is perfection. But as long as we value our idea of perfection, as long as we value our projection of perfection, then there's a thought that rejects this body. This is not perfect. Rejects the tree or the flower or the walkway or the car or whatever form. It rejects that and says, no, that's not perfect. My projection, my idea is perfect. And then it wants this to match the idea of perfection. And you have to see that that's not possible. This moment already is. It is what it is. trying to add to it, trying to remove from it, to somehow arrive at the mental image of perfection is just not possible. So on this hand, we have this moment, and on this hand, we have our projection of the perfect moment. So looking at those two, which one has to go? Can this moment go? No. See, this moment can't be dropped. You can't let go of this moment. It just is. But what about this mental projection of perfection? Can this be let go of? Can this be dropped? Yes. Wasn't there a time when you didn't have that idea? Yes. So it's something that you've created. And when you look at it, you're constantly creating it. So you just stop creating it. Stop creating that idea of perfection. You stop creating that mental image of perfection. And you notice that when you're not creating that idea of perfection, that image of perfection, you've dropped it. You don't have this other hand, leaving you only with what is. And that's when you see the perfection that's right in front of your eyes. You're no longer rejecting this moment because you've removed this other option that's imaginary. You're imagining a moment that's better than this. And you're failing to realize that this moment is all there is. There is only this moment. There is only this moment. So why imagine another moment? There is no other moment. There is only this moment. So you remove that imaginary option. See, now there's no other. Before, how it was set up was there's this moment and another moment, the perfect moment. And as long as you're imagining a perfect moment, you're always going to be rejecting this moment. But it's realizing that there's only this moment, that this perfect moment is imaginary. This image of perfection is something that you are creating, that you are imagining. So you stop imagining it, leaving you only with this moment, leaving you only with what is. See, perfection knows no other. There's nothing other than perfection. Perfection has no opposite. This moment is whole. This moment is complete. It's not missing anything. It's not lacking anything. There's no defects. So when this idea of perfection, when this image of perfection, when your projection of perfection is dropped, meaning when you stop creating it, then you're just left with perfection. And because perfection is whole, because perfection is complete, because perfection is one, you are that perfection. You're not apart from that perfection. You're not separate from perfection. It's not like there's a separate you that's now looking at a separate moment that's perfect. You are this moment. There's not a you that's separate from perfect life. You are life. Life is perfect. You are the perfection that you are seeking. Hopefully this helps. See you in the next one.